place them in our day schools. And this one I'm making an appeal. We want to build all our day schools. So let's not say all of them go to Wamala Kijana, advise others waende Nakalira, others waende Sibakala. Because that thing is being done in your school. So that we balance them, we build all our schools. So please, tusifunge ofisi, so that we ensure we have assisted them to be placed in the senior schools. Then, as I wind up, I just want to end by thanking our area MP. That Mheshimiwa, we are proud of what you are doing. As a sub-county director of education, I'm also proud and happy to work in Kimilili. Because Mheshimiwa is very supportive. Mheshimiwa is very understanding. You know, kuna sub-county director wengine anafika station na anatoroka ama anafukuzwa the same day. So Mheshimiwa has been so good. Mheshimiwa has been very supportive. We keep on sharing and discussing. And I want to say that in Kimilili, the education sector, we have a conducive working environment. So we have no excuse. Mimi langu hatuna excuse not to give results. So Mheshimiwa, thank you so much. We shall go on supporting you. Sasa hii natoka ministry nakuja huku kando. We shall go on supporting you. You know, unique enough, I'm also a voter here. So count on our support. Yeah, we shall support you. Because we want the best for our children. We want the best for our people. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa, for listening to us. I want to take this opportunity to invite our area member of parliament to talk to us. Karibu, Mheshimiwa.
Asante. Thank you very much, our boss, director, youth in charge of our education system. Number one, I am very happy to see all of you here, and most importantly, to thank you for posting very good results. We sat down with Dr. Kasemberi, we analyzed, and in terms of performance, I think in the whole county we are number one. This therefore means that previously, before, during the old system of grading, we were not doing well because naturally the people of Kimilili are very innovative. We fit well in this CBC than any other thing. Because out of an excess of 4,000 pupils, only 198 are the ones whom we will try to struggle to see. These are some of the challenges. We'll try to see what else can they do. If a child never met expectations, what are we supposed to do? Either they repeat, or if they don't want to repeat, what do we do as a country? And I think these are some of the lessons that we are learning. So number one, I call you here to express on behalf of the people of Kimilili to say that we are happy with the work that you are doing. And we pray that God bless you. Number two, I also want to give you a preview of where we stand presently in terms of improving our infrastructure. What do we plan to do tomorrow? And again, just tap into intelligence in terms of what we will want to undertake the day after tomorrow. So far we are progressing well. The schools that are beneficiaries of the funds from the last financial year, we are at the tail end of completing them. These are the Kimilili Bs, the RC girls, the Sihendus, the Kamukuywas, the Chesamis, Siuna. Most of them are complete, but the remaining ones are going to be completed, I think, before the new year. I've had an agreement with our contractors that they're not going to leave site until they complete what they are doing. We have also begun implementing projects whose funding fell in this financial year, 25-26. This financial year of 25-26. And we have begun, I think we have begun at Kamsinga AC, Kamsinga Girls, Kamsinga AC Primary. I think we are beginning. We should begin anytime schools like Chebukwabi, FYM, Miruri Primary, school like Lutonyi. We are beginning anytime. The school like, I think Kimingiji AIC, number 1 FYM, the two Kamsindes, both FYM and RC, of course, New Hope Mangale, Mangale DEB, Surwe Juda, Socio. I think in the next 3 months, we will be at 90%. So the remaining ones, there are very few. I had a meeting with the sub-county director on how we can mop up resources to improve those other schools that we began a while ago. Now Punda Primary is sorted out. We got money to build 3 classrooms. We got more money to build another extra 5 classrooms. So the school now is complete like any other schools. The schools that we have agreed with the director, sub-county director for education, Dr. Kasembeli, to mop up resources both from the ministry, the one you call infrastructure funds. We had agreed to consolidate. We rearranged the priorities, and I told him to focus on to build more classrooms, like 4 classrooms. Some of these schools are like Ikwechi, Ngoli Primary School, Misihumeini SDA, Hamlati DEB, Namahele Primary, Matisi Primary, Namasanda GOP Primary School, and Mahonge Primary School. These are schools which they are not very old, so we want to ensure that also we bring them along to the level and the standards of the majority of the schools that we currently have in our sub-county. Number 3, I also wanted to hear from you, because I have apart from re-engineering the education infrastructure in my constituency, I think I'm also re-engineering for the whole country in terms of how the education subsector is going to be managed. I have a proposal which has advanced And I think when we get back to Parliament, we will be able to conclude that piece of legislation, I think by end of next year. That law, I'm hopeful that law will have, Parliament will have passed that law so that we can implement, because I've had an engagement with the Ministry of Education. And we have all agreed that they take over that amendments from myself so that it becomes government, because they are all agreeable. What I propose, I had made two proposals. One had been unanimously agreed upon. The other one is the one that we are still discussing to find a way on to what extent do we accommodate it. You realize that most of the problems in the education sector are usually being blamed on policy makers, which is actually the Commission. And then in my proposal, I want to restructure the way the Teacher Service Commission is composed. The composition of the commissioners, I want the whole process to be restructured, where CAPTCHA must second a commissioner to the Teacher Service Commission. Yeah. CAPTCHA must also second an individual as a commissioner to sit on the Teacher Service Commission. And the tertiary institutions should also second their representative to sit on the Teacher Service Commission as a commissioner. And of course, the ministry also agreed that the PS Education also will have an alternate member sitting on that commission, which I agreed, and also Treasury, because of the massive investment that the government of Kenya invests in the Teacher Service Commission. So that when matters of teachers are being discussed, you have your own who are part of the decisions that TSC does. And it is not something that is out of the blues. Yeah? Members of Parliament, they are remunerated by the Parliamentary Service Commission. We elect 4 or 5 members of Parliament to sit on the Parliamentary Service Commission. Those are our colleagues. We are not saying retired teachers, they must be currently serving. When you retire, you exit, because your interests will have changed. Yeah? So the same even to the Judicial Service Commission. You see the magistrates, they elect one of their own to be a commissioner at the JSC. The judges elect one of their own also. The advocates, also they elect one of their own to sit on the Judicial Service Commission. So it cannot be that when we are discussing matters for teachers, we are seconding businessmen and women to be commissioners. How can they understand the problem that teachers of this country go through? Yeah. So that is where my focus is, and we are advanced. I will just once I've finished, I will just want to get a few comments from you, and of course also there is a discussion. About which I find it amenable is okay, that also the union can also second their representative to sit there. Then we can come up with the modalities on how all this representation is going to come up. Then we can come up with a formula to distribute. When the rep from the union is coming from this region, then the CAPTCHA will come from the other region, then the one for CAPTCHA from another region, so that you're also balancing the country, not to take the leadership of the commission in one particular area. Number 3, I also want to thank you for the support. From the time that you elected me as your member of parliament in 2017, I've never had a problem when we are implementing projects in primary schools. I've never had a problem. Most problems are in secondary schools. Yeah? Most problems are in secondary schools, which because of other reasons. But the primary schools, you've really supported our projects. All our projects have been completed very fast, on time. And you have also been assisting me to ward off propaganda that have been fueled by prophets of doom. At times when I go through social media, and I even see some elected leaders, though they don't do it nowadays because I suit them. Because you can't just defame the character of a very hard-working young man like myself for the purposes of cheap political games. And I have no energy to engage in physical fighting. No. Yeah? So I took them to court. I look at them saying that, our store building are condemned, they are collapsing, and I wonder, which part of the world do they live in? Yeah? Which part of the world do they live in? As we are moving to the next level, we began by eliminating mud wall classrooms, and those that were learning under trees like Hamlati, they were under rented land in some under trees. Yeah. Kikwechi, there were no classrooms. Chelekei, a secondary school, they were in the primary. Ngoli primary, there were no classrooms. Tarajamungu, they were learning in an ramshackle buildings that were meant for administration police service. Matisi, there were no schools. There were horrible structures at Sango Primary School. We eliminated all of them. We went to store buildings. Now we are moving from store buildings to ensuring that we phase out all old buildings and we make them new, so that because when I came in as a member of parliament, I was told that some of those buildings that were existing, the one that we are replacing, that they were first built when Kenya got independence. Most of teachers who are here, they learned from the same structures, So I said, let me replace them, even if another person will replace them in the next 40 or 50 years, but at least they will remember me for having at least done something, having offered my contribution. So what we are going to do in my next phase, and I just wanted to get your thoughts around that, is that with this CBC, we have, in development begins by a thought. Then a thought becomes an idea. Yeah? Then the people who will come after we've left, because we will not here permanently, they will build on that idea to leverage on whatever we will have done and do more. I will want the sub-county to take us through, with this CBC, what are some of the things that you require, so that the learners can appreciate and understand the training which you are giving them. For example, of course, we have fields. If those who are football, they can go to play in the field. We have fields. But number two, maybe those who try, maybe when they are taking swimming lessons, there is no swimming pool, so they swim in sand. What else do we think it is required? Because I want, before I leave the position that I'm holding now, before 2027, I want to identify at least 2 schools in every ward. which you people, you can ballot, and you give me the names. A school that has got enough land, yeah, where we can make that school a model JSS school. We can set up those facilities. We can, if it's swimming pool, we can set up the swimming pool. And then yourself, you will make arrangements to plan on how the learners can make good use of those facilities, either by following some timetable, so that you don't have to be taking through your students through swimming lessons in sand. Maybe you begin by basics in sand, then you will have your own way of which school will be there 7 to 8, which school will be there from 9, from 10, from 11, so that you can also make good use of those ones. Then once that one is done, then the member of parliament who will take after me can begin now to replicate in other schools, because we have to begin from somewhere, right? Yeah. So that we can have some resources, pool resources, where schools from that particular area can utilize. That is my thought, and I think we can improve. That can improve the when you are teaching the students, they will be able to appreciate. Some don't know how a swimming pool is like. Yeah, and then that swimming pool, we can also make it public during holidays and weekends. We can have a system where our people can take their children to swim. They can pay some small money, which can be used to maintain. Yeah, I'm sure even Malim brought us wish to take his grandchildren to swim. He can afford to pay some even 100 shillings or 200 shillings, right? So that is where my head is focusing. Is focusing now, and I also think of we can have even also this like one school bus per ward.
Wow.
Yeah? We just designate which school.
Yes.
We put a school bus there. And this school bus there, we can find a way of fueling it with the runs. It picks students from here, swimming pool hapa, wana swim inaenda hapa, those kind of things. That is where my focus is going on here. Yeah. Because I want by 2027, people say that, development, you have to structure it. I'm going to build, I've identified some secondary schools, and I've already done budget allocations. A school like Maini Girls, we are going to give that school a serious facelift. We want to bring that school to the level of better than St. Mary's Socio. I'm sure by next year, that school will be the most highly populated. Parents look at how the school looks like. We are going to put tiles. We are going to press out those old buildings. We are going to redesign the whole school, put cabro, so that the school can be of the level that it was a few years ago when we were growing up. So I've identified a number of schools, but the budget for CDF for this last and final financial year, 2025, 2026, and 2026, 2027. Even though 2026, 2027, I will not be there because I'm praying that God will have taken me to the county. But we will have already committed that proposal. So the member of parliament who will come will just implement whatever we have done there. So my plan is that within these 2 financial years, we will have completed. There will be no old structure in all the primary and the JSS schools in the Kimilili constituency. That one we have already achieved because we are just beginning to implement the remaining one in the next couple of days. So that one is already done. We are already done and dusted. And all our projects are to completion. There's no project which we fund to give partly this year, another one this year. No, we fund to completion. So my next phase now is to, with your guidance and how we will agree, we identify 2 centers in every ward, 2 centers. Like this ward, Kibingei, we have the upper and the lower. Kimilili, we have the township and the rural. Maeni, we have the upper side and the lower side. Same to Kamkuya. 2 schools must have